Hello YouTubers, how are you all doing today? So today I'll be talking about this Behringer Xenyx1204 USB. So why not stay tuned for more information coming up. So today is part 3 of 4 of the soundboards today, and it's this Behringer Xenyx1204 USB. So, a bit like any other soundboard, it's got, definitely of this size, it's got 4 to 6 channels. 4 of which have got XLRs for your microphones. It's got your line ins, if you've got like jack connections, like the guitar connections, 1/4 inch. Got those all around here. And then you got your low cut of 75 Hz or 18 decibel on those 4 channels. And then you got your gain as well for each of those 4 channels. Then, this is quite interesting because I've never seen this before, is compression for only 4 of the channels. I've never used it personally. I don't know much about it, so I'm not really going to comment on those yet until I get more information. And then for your bog standard levels and stuff like that, for your frequencies, you got your high, mid and low for all 6 channels, pretty standard for pretty much all boards. And then you've got your auxiliary knobs here as well for your external sources, as I've talked about in the previous video. So your delays, echoes, reverbs, whatever. And then effects boost, so you can boost your effects if you wanted to. Again, I've never really used boost because I've never seen it before, so I'm not going to comment on those until I get more information. And then obviously your pan, left, right, that's standard again for your boards. So if, like for example, your vocals, so backup vocals will be, say, left side, and you've got some other vocals on your right, pan it to your right. But if you for your main vocals, that's bog standard centered. But again, for if you're running a band or sound for the band, keep everything centered. But now, underneath the pan knobs, you've got mutes. So basically, if you're gonna keep your wireless microphone on or corded microphone on, you can actually, well, they're all muted at the moment, but say if you've got the microphone staying on and there's a speaker close by and you don't want any sound going into that and causing sound issues, so if your microphone is on channels 1 and 3 and 4, you go to 3 and 4, press down, and that will mute those 2 channels. So again, it's say if you only have one microphone on channel 4, go to channel 4 and press down. and that will illuminate the mute LED. So it just basically mutes that channel and it won't go through the speakers at all. And if you want to use it again, unmute it and talk. Especially if you're a DJ. So it's pretty easy to do, just mute, unmute. Underneath the mute LED, you've got your clip LED. I mean, the way I've got this set up, it's honestly, these lights or the board is so sensitive. I even see the clip light flashing sometimes, and the volume never goes higher than 7 on the LED display. So I actually never have it that loud. So usually I have my main mix up to 0, and then the channel mix or the channel volume, basically 20, number 20 on the fader. But at this stage I'm using it for recording because I'm doing live stream on YouTube, and I like to have audio recording played back at a later date. So yeah, but and when I record I never have it much higher than 20. But obviously with live events, when I get back DJing, normally I would have a bit higher. Not so much higher, but somewhat higher. But I've got devices that will stop the clipping for the amplifiers. So as you've seen in one of my videos, it's the compressor limiters that do that job. So now the sliders, instead of having the twizzle knobs, it's sliders. Very easy to control, and you pretty much know where to stop if you like the levels. On this slider, next to the main mix, you've got the alternative volume. Alternative volume basically is for your control or monitors. So it's pretty standard. And then obviously your main mix, and that's for going out to your amplifiers and speakers. Again, I don't go much higher than 0 dB, and that's the limit that I cut off the main mix. That gives me room for each channel that I have plugged in to adjust the volume. And then obviously you got your stereo auxiliary turns, left, right jacks. It's for the effects, so the external stuff. Auxiliary sends, left, right again. It's pretty standard, as I've talked about before on my last soundboard. Again, 2 tracks USB input output. That's basically your phone, CD player, basically basic stuff, and or a tape player or something like that. That goes in there, and you can record out to that as well. But I don't do that. In fact, I never use these because I don't really like phonos on soundboards. And then obviously your effects controls, which are here, which I hardly ever use anyway, because I don't want effects when I'm DJing. The only effects I use, if I come to it, is when I'm DJing on my MacBook controller program. That's all. And then you got your phones, control room, volume here. In fact, you got your headphone right there if you're mixing somebody for, like, say, a vocalist who's has a guitar with him or her. And then you got your other buttons here, 2-track USB, which is there. Alt 3.4, which is basically that slider, and your main mix, which is that main output. So, and then you got your 2-track USB to main, which I've got that up, which I hardly ever use. So pretty much some of the stuff on this board I don't use, but all the rest I do, because obviously DJing, I like to be playing. And then on the sides it's got air vents. There's one there and there's one there. Now to the back. So you got your typical standard kettle lead, 240 volts. In America it's 110, 120. And then you got your normal power switch, so just normal on off. And then you got your phantom power if you've got microphones that only have phantom power to power them. So that's the XLRs. And talking about XLRs, you got your XLR output for your left, right, to your amplifiers. And then you got your alternative 3 and 4 right there. And you could put a control room out there. So I don't use those unless I'm in a large venue and I need monitors, and that's when I'll use them. But the only board that I use monitors is my bigger board, which will be coming later on part 404, which I think you'll enjoy because it's a lot bigger than this one, honestly. And then for my recording, I use USB, standard USB. So then whatever goes out onto the main mix comes out on USB, as well as the XLRs and stuff like that. So as it says here, it's premium 12 input 2 USB bus mixer, Xenyx mic preamps and compressors, British EQ's USB audio interface. So yeah, if I go live with this, which I will do, don't just DJ on it, I record with it. Pretty much what I did on the last board that I showed you, part 2 of 4. That's also got a USB interface. This one has as well, so I can, honestly, this is so much better than the previous one, because the look of it is so much neater. I just love it. But some of you slate Behringer because of the price. It's not to do with the price, it's how good the quality is. Because when I first started DJing it back in 2012, I had a Behringer soundboard, the one before that I've got now, and like, I loved the audio that came out of it. And then I started getting more and more Behringer stuff, so like amplifiers, speakers, limiters and compressors, stuff like that. Honestly, if you think Behringer shit, think again, because it's honestly the price to audio quality. Honestly, it's there. Some of you may like JBL. For me, JBL are pretty much for car audio. End of. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video of this type of soundboard, and I hope you could join me next time for the last installment of soundboards. And it's the biggest one I own, part 404. So before you go, make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit that notification bell to get notified when I post more videos and go live in the future. So take care, see you.